How are we? Did we all sleep? Sleep? No? How many Americans here? People, you know what, you might be American, but you might live in America. Who had to take a long flight?
I flew longer than the Americans.
Where'd you fly from?
Australia.
Oh, well, there you go. I have very little sympathy for any of you. Because over the last 18 months, I was living in Ireland and I was doing cons in America, and I was the only one. I would arrive on a Thursday like this, and then go to work, and everyone was just like, oh, I just flew in from LA, or from Austin, or wherever else. And now, I just flew from Ireland, so I'm chipper. I had a full night's sleep last night. Well, I say a full night's sleep. I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning. My kids sleep until 8. But I don't fucking, I don't know, I'm a basket case. I think when you have kids, you just start, if there's anything, there's always something on your mind you've got to do, and you feel that you haven't done it yet, and you're like, oh fuck, I really should do that. And then 5 a.m. on the dot, I'm wide awake. Yeah. Okay. So, here we are. This is Rome. A new question. Oh, that's pretty. See, we're gonna need some questions to keep me going this morning, okay? Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Did you have to play karaoke last night?
Yeah, karaoke was great. I've been doing it quite a while, and I don't know. I just think that the energy from the audience just really gets that first day of the con going, and look, everyone then brings that energy through to the weekend. So that's why when the guys arrive, they're like, whoa, this crowd is huge. And we're like, yeah, no shit, man. We worked them all day yesterday. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Good.
So my question is, obviously we have a lot of supernatural dads.
Yes.
What was the best piece of advice that you got from one of them when they found out that you were expecting?
Well, to be fair, I did call Jensen because he has twins. About sleeping arrangements. See, like when twins are born, they're half the size normally of a normal child, like, because they're sharing a womb, so they're tiny little things. So you get these things called side sleepers. You know what side sleepers are? You can just attach onto the side of your bed. And so we had 2 of them, but like we didn't really need to use the second one for like 3 months, because instead of sleeping like lengthways like you should in a cot, they would sleep literally sideways. So their little feet were on kind of on the edge of the bed, and so my wife would just pick one up, feed them, put one back, pick the other one up, feed them, put them back. And then we were moving them into their own room, and like that's kind of daunting enough when you're a first-time parent. You're like, move them into the room, there's a camera there, and you're like, you're afraid they're gonna die all the time. But so we were gonna put them in the same cot in another room, and Jensen was like, no, don't do that. As soon as you can, separate them. Because like when they start moving and stuff at 4 or 5 months, then they start like, punching each other or grabbing each other's eyes and stuff. But the other thing is that they can become kind of codependent really early on, and we kind of did this thing where like our kids were born on 2 different days. Maud was born on the 9th of August and Juno was born on the 10th. Like they were a minute apart, but like it was like Tom Brady. The gynecologist was like Tom Brady. He was like that. Obviously, you don't look over the sheet, right? If you're me, you just stay beside. You look at your wife and you look her in the eye. It's okay. And then so he pulls out one baby. Pulls out Maud, one baby, my daughter, because it was an emergency C-section. It was everything was fine. It just called an emergency C-section if it's not been planned. Katie wants to have a natural birth and tried her damnedest, but. Anyway, so he pulls out Maud at 11:59, and then look, there's this delay, and I'm like, oh my god, is everything okay? Is everything okay? The guy he was waiting, he was looking, he's like that, looking at the clock. 43, ha! Pulls out Gino, 12 o'clock, and I'm looking at it, and then I look at the clock, 12. So officially and legally, there are 2 different dates on their birth certs. And we were coming in, we were bringing them over to see their grandparents in LA, and they sometimes you might not notice, but sometimes US security people can be a bit of fucking assholes. Like they kind of look at you like you're a criminal. And they're like, you might go, something wrong here. I said, what do you mean there's something wrong with these passports? 2 different dates. Thinking he was all smart. I was like, yeah, they were born on fucking 2 different days, dude. I didn't say that. I let my wife talk because she's American. When you're Irish, you just keep your mouth shut and just nod, yes, my fingerprints. But yeah, so Jensen gave me the best piece of advice. It was like, separate them as early as you can, and like, our kids are amazing, man. Like, unless they've got, you know, one of the cruelest things God ever did was made babies' teeth. It's a fucking nightmare. Like Gino's face just swells up and she's got fucking red, like it's just horrible. But, you know, when they, unless they're teething, they go to bed at 7 at night and they sleep right through till 8 in the morning. It's fantastic. Which is apparently not always the case. And any parent I talk to, they go, yeah, enjoy that while it fucking lasts. You know, the kids in their bed and all that kind of jazz. I'm not into that. I do like my sleep. So there's going to be a ban on kids coming into the bed. That's at least what I'm saying now. Talk to me in 5 years. Thanks, kid. Hi. Hi. How are you?
Hi. Oh, I'm fine, thanks.
Good. This is so nice. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm from Belgium.
Oh, I lived in Belgium for a while.
Yeah?
Yeah, in Brussels.
Oh, wow. Okay. I have a daughter, and she...
I'm married.
Yeah, but she's dating someone from Ireland at the moment.
Do you approve?
Yes.
Have you met this person?
Yes. Yes, he stayed with us for 2 weeks.
Separate rooms?
No.
Santa Maria. Go on, seriously.
So it's pretty serious.
How old is she?
Oh my God.
All of a sudden, I don't feel so bad.
29.
Ah, okay.
So, what advice do you have as an Irishman to the future mother-in-law of an Irishman?
Jesus. Sink my whole country or lie to this woman? Irish guys are good guys, I have to say. Like, you know, you know, one of the great things about traveling so much as an Irish person is that we're welcomed everywhere we go. There's never been a place where you go, although there was a time in Australia, you know, where, because Irish people go to America, they go on their J1 visas for, you know, in first year college, and they go and they work in, you know, at bars and stuff like that. And they would go to Australia as well and fucking wreck the joint. And there was a big thing on Australia news about how these Irish students were coming over and, you know, causing havoc. But no, we're pretty much welcomed everywhere we go, which is great. Like, you know, it's a very proud thing that we hold here. And I think, you know, I get on very well with my mother-in-law. Do you get on well with this gentleman?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy?
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah. I think just trust that. I don't think he's gonna, just double check that he's got no skeletons in his closet. Just make sure, like, you know, what part of Ireland is he from, do you know?
He lives in Dublin.
Am I right? No, I think just keep an eye on him would be my advice. But I don't even know this guy, but I'm gonna stand by him and say he's a good guy. Okay? It's a shit answer, I know, but listen, it's the only one I got right now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hello. How are you?
Okay, so funny, I'm also from Belgium.
Brilliant.
And
Are you dating an Irishman?
No, I'm not. But my best friend and I are going to do a road trip through Ireland next summer.
Cool.
And I was wondering if you have any recommendations of things that we should see.
Yeah, like that's my favorite town, I think, in Ireland. Like, you know, it's where I tell everyone to go to Galway. Or as American people sometimes call it, Galway. But Galway, yeah. You fly into Dublin, spend a night in Dublin, get the train or drive. Ireland's very easy to drive around. Drive across to Galway, and then spent a couple of nights going. Went to the islands like Inishmore, beautiful. Like there's lovely little islands out there. Went to Clifton, Cleggan, Roundstone. But then you could spend a couple of days there, easy, and then go down south, down to the Cliffs of Moher. There are these beautiful cliffs, and then like Gap of Dunlow, Kerry, Ring of Kerry, and then there's like countless little towns down on the way from West Cork to Cork. Kinsale, there's beautiful little towns to stop off. But it's literally Dublin straight across down, and then come back up the south east coast. It's pretty easy. That's the horseshoe, I would call it. And I obviously do Northern Ireland as well. I'm just not as au fait with Northern Ireland as I am with the rest of the country, for obvious reasons.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the questions. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
We've got a couple of Irish people, 2 Belgians, and now we've got 2 Irish people on it. So you're getting an Irish history lesson, or probably a bullshit one, but anyway. Hi. What was your name?
Saoirse.
Saoirse, of course.
So I was wondering who you're backing to win the All-Ireland this year.
Oh, this is embarrassing. I'm from Louth.
So am I,
So like we like the last time Louth only good were in the 1950s, I think,
Yeah.
But are you a big Garhead? Like, so in Ireland there's the 2 national sports. Well, it's called the GAA. So it's Gaelic football, which is kind of like Aussie rules almost, and like probably as rough as rugby. And then there's hurling, which is like with a stick and a ball, and that's fucking really rough. So I didn't play either of those sports in school. I don't know, I'd say probably, I don't want to say Dublin. I think Dublin might be past this. I think Kerry might do well, yeah. Kerry might do well. Or Limerick have a good team, right? Yeah. Who do you think?
Too sure, like, because my dad's a massive Dublin supporter, so if I said anyone but Dublin, I'd get this one. But
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Do we have this lady, I'm not going to put it about this lady over here, is abandoning us today.
Yes, I've got tickets for the Ireland.
So Ireland I flew over the other day and I was on the same plane as the Irish rugby team. Does anyone know what rugby is?
Yes.
Okay, rugby is this sport that's like American football, except way better. And Ireland happened to be number 1 in the world at rugby. For such a small country, it's pretty cool. And so we're playing Italy today in Stadio Olimpico in Rome. And I'm here. She's going to the game. Are you excited?
Yeah, I am. Delighted.
Are you going your own?
No, my sister flew in last night, so she's going to go.
Look at this. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, so when they rescheduled to here, to this date,
Yeah.
we looked at the fixtures for the Six Nations. It's like,
It's a no-brainer, really, isn't
Done.
it? Yeah. It's a no-brainer. It also made my flight like ridiculously expensive. But anyway, seriously, that was a great question. And if you have any more, please stay there and ask me some more. How are you?
So, Ricky over the past few days was talking about being in movies with Russell Crowe, but that he was never actually met Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
So the family film on RTE a couple of Saturdays ago was Call of the Wild.
Call of the Wild, yeah.
And obviously yourself and Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
So did you actually meet Harrison Ford?
You know, I did at the premiere. We didn't have any scenes together, but God, that was a great experience. It's bittersweet because I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Call of the Wild, the Jack London book. I'm in the very beginning of it. I was in like the first, entire act. But when you do blockbuster movies and they've got $200 million to spend, they generally just they shoot more than they need. And I got a call from the producers or whatever saying that they were doing reshoots. So I went out back in, did 2 more weeks of filming. I was like, oh my God, I called my buddy Aidan Turner, I'm like, go back in. He's like, oh man, that means you're going to be in the movie lots. This is fucking amazing. Big Harrison Ford movie. And then I went in to do what's called ADR. You know what ADR is? And because the dog is like animated, if they're not going, they test it first for an audience, and then if they're not going to use that scene, they don't bother with all the expensive CGI animation of the dog. So I went in and I'm like, where's where's the scene with me and Bradley Whitford and the dog? And I'm a huge West Wing fan, so I had 2 weeks of working with Bradley Whitford and all these great dialogue scenes, and they just fucking cut them. They cut, like, the entire storyline. And then so there's me at the beginning of the movie, and I'm in, like, I have, you know, a couple of lines and stuff like that, and it's fine. But it was really bittersweet. And that's like, because you get paid, like, more than you would normally for a movie, and you get, like, it's an amazing experience, you're working with all these amazing people. So on that level, the actual production side of it was great, but then the payoff is really not there. But yeah, I did meet Harrison, and we had a photo together at the premiere, but yeah, it didn't work with him. I did hear some good stories though. Like, he used to fly himself in this helicopter, and then he would have his driver or someone bring his pilot to set while he was working, and he would fly him home. I was like, that's the fucking way to do it, Harrison. You might have a few drinks on set, you know? He's a cool dude. He is really a cool dude. Have you seen that show, Shrinking? Yeah? Someone was talking about it yesterday, said it's pretty good. Jason Segel and Harrison Ford. Anyway.
Oh, and by the way, so you Harry Wild, you were hilarious.
Oh, thank you so much with Jane Seymour. I got to work with Jane Seymour a lot last year, which was a lot of fun. Dr. Quinn, the medicine woman. The younger members of the audience might know who she is. But she's a badass. Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, join the fucking club. I woke up this morning and it's like more lines than I thought I ever had. Hi. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm from Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. Well, I heard there's good skiing in Bulgaria.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
And there's a sea, so.
And the sea.
Yeah.
Listen, what would you want?
You can just.
I'm listening, I promise.
Okay. So there are three things that I was waiting for this year. Jib, for sure. Yeah. And there are 2 concerts that I'm waiting for in April and August. So I was wondering if there's, because music is a huge part of my life, is there any concert you were really looking for, and which one was that?
Look, I've seen U2 play about 6 times, and I've seen, you know, lots of concerts over my life. Nothing comes even close to my experience at a U2 concert, because I'm a massive fan. But is there a band that I haven't seen? Like, I wouldn't mind seeing the rumor about the Stones and the Beatles making an album together. Did you hear that? The 2 remaining members of the Rolling Stones and 2 remaining members of the Beatles are thinking of making an album together, which I think is pretty cool. I don't know. Like, what? There's nothing better than a good concert. I love a good rock concert. It's amazing. I've seen Guns N' Roses. No, there's no one really I'm really jonesing to see now that I haven't seen. What concerts are you going to?
I'm going to Darren Hayes.
Who?
Darren Hayes from Savage Garden.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah, and the August one is Imagine Dragons.
I'd love to see Imagine Dragons. They're great. They're really cool. I rely on my wife. She's got very good taste in music for any new music. That's the worst thing. I pay for Apple Music, and you get that bill at every month of $9.99 or whatever it is. And I'm like, I listen to the same fucking album all the time. Sometimes I go on to, because Hayley has Spotify and I have Apple Music, and sometimes I go onto her Spotify and I just go to playlists and random playlists, and that's probably the way I listen to music now. Which is kind of, you know, back in the day when these great bands were compiling albums, they'd be like, you know, and still, the great musicians that are here. I'm just glad no one walked out when I was about to say that. Like they put a lot of effort and work into the structure of their album, and it would all be a story and stuff, and it's kind of all gone out the window now, you know? People don't really appreciate albums as much as they used to, because, you know, back when I was a kid, you like if you wanted to listen to the next song, you'd have to fucking fast forward, and then you go too far, and you have to go back, and you have to go back, and then eventually you get there like 10 minutes later, you know? You don't know how easy you have it these days, kids. Hi. Are you hiding there in the corner?
I'm just getting out of
Oh, they have the lights pretty intense, isn't it?
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. I'm wondering if when you get a job like Supernatural, do you ever watch any of the oeuvre of the other actors to kind of get an idea of what you're getting into? And if so, was there anything really awful you can tell us, like troll your co-workers a little bit.
Did I troll any like Jensen and Jared?
Could you now?
Could I now troll them?
Could you now tell us
Okay.
what you thought was terrible of their
Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. I watched the Gilmore Girls. No, I didn't. And much of my shame, I didn't really. I knew the show. I put a couple of friends of mine on tape, like an audition tape, and they both had gotten roles in the show. I was aware of the show, but I had never watched it. And then I sat down, of course. Like, there are a couple of things, there are many things that you need to do to prepare for a new role. The main one is, like, know what you're doing yourself. But then, like, the tone of the show is a good thing to get. Like, you walk on excuse me. You walk onto a show like, Game of Thrones, for example. It's got a specific tone, it's set in a specific world, Star Wars, all that kind of jazz, the Mandalorian.
Supernatural.
And then Supernatural, of course, I was coming to that, but thank you. And so you just see how the other characters interact, how the leads, what the kind of, a loose idea of what they're about in the show. But like I was cast really late. Like David Hayden Jones and I came on around the same time, and he had done like 5 or 6 auditions, and I just went in one day, and like this is, I'm not doing braggadocious or anything, but I went in, I auditioned once, and I was on set the following Wednesday, I think. So I didn't have a huge amount of time. But invariably you do, like you just do your homework, basically. And the rest is history.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good to see you again.
Thank you.
It's good to see all these familiar faces again that I haven't seen in like 3 or 4 years. Is it 4 years or 3 years? We were trying to work out yesterday. Did we ever? It is 3. 4.
2019.
Useless.
I know.
Is it 3 or 4? Was it 2019?
It's 2019.
Yeah, so it's 4 calendar years. We're probably not a whole, it was probably May or something, was it? Yeah, okay, thanks guys. Hi, great to see you.
I'm from Rome. Actually, I live really close to the Olympic Stadium.
Oh, do you?
I used
Good luck getting home today.
Yeah, I know. I used to go watch the rugby game, especially for the third time. That's the best part of the game.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And I want to ask you about Harry White. So the girl said before. I was just watching TV one day and you appear there. And I was so happy because I was just finally I can see you somewhere else, some other show.
Oh, I appreciate
But they didn't keep you long enough, so I was wondering.
Well, I have a bit of a bone to pick with that show.
Yeah.
So basically, I came in on my last day of filming that show was the day my kids were born, and this is a show called Harry Wild with Jane Seymour, and I only came in episode 7 and 8 of the first season, I was like, it was fun because I always want to do more comedy or more kind of like that show kind of threads that very very narrow road of like it's not a comedy but it's not serious. It's kind of like it's funny but played serious kind of thing. You know what I mean? I was really I loved doing it. I loved that kind of I hadn't exercised that muscle enough, and so the writer came up to me the day my kids were born, and I had about an hour's sleep. And it was my last day, as I said, and he goes, man, I really love what you're doing. This is brilliant. I was like, okay, because I've never done this kind of stuff before, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad you are too. And he goes, I'm writing you this whole arc in season 2, which is filming. It's filming at the moment actually. And I was like, oh, great. And so, you as an actor, you unless you're standing on set, and everyone will tell you this, unless you're actually standing on set and you're saying the lines, you don't believe anything these people say. But so it went on and on and on, and then when they went to produce it, the company that were producing it in America, Acorn TV, they wanted to make it cheaper, so they cut some storylines, and yeah, that's why I didn't do season 2, unfortunately. It's a very fucking sad story.
Yeah, like you were just kind of like. I was happy when you appeared, then you were like a kind of bad character.
Bad cop, yeah.
But still like him, just want to see more.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so that's actually, I want to ask, I used to see the video already, but I was working with Jane Seymour, and where we can see you next?
I'm back doing that other show I do in Norway called The State of Happiness. And I go back to do that in April, I think. But working with Jane Seymour was a lot of fun. She's like 72, she's so sharp. She's like, every Sunday she would have a party in her house, a garden party, and she would invite my wife, who's heavily pregnant at the time, my mom, who was obviously a huge fan. She would invite everyone to her house to have this big garden. She's an absolutely beautiful woman, full of the joys of spring, full of energy, and a really damn fine actor. Like, you know, she brings it every day. And she had like the lion's share of dialogue the whole time. And when in our scenes, she like sometimes she didn't know her lines. I'm not gonna lie, but that's okay. She's Jane Seymour. She can do what she wants. But it was great fun. Yeah, it's great fun. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Jason Mans.
I was trying to sneak in. I was just gonna ask a question.
Oh, okay. I thought you were coming on stage.
I mean, I am kind of, but
it's good to see
but
you.
I feel like these folks should ask their questions.
Okay. Pretend Jason's not here for the time being.
Hi, this question is for Adam.
Hi, Claire.
So, yeah, going back to when you were saying about doing state habits. So what's the difference or your mindset when you're doing a fictional character to something you want to actually live and breathe?
That's a great question.
I got this one.
Yeah. I suppose the advantage you have of playing a real life person, as I said yesterday, because I had a 5-minute clip where this guy was being interviewed and he's got this kind of southern drawl, but it's not too strong, so you're kind of focusing on the accent, but you don't want to get too kind of caught up in the accent because, you know, at the time we all thought he was dead, and he wasn't, it turned out. But so you have something to kind of like anchor yourself to. And there was this scene when he first comes into the documentary. He's like, his name's Ed Crump, and he's kind of old, and he's walking up and he's singing a song to his wife as they walk up this street. He's just singing this old ditty, and I was like, that's kind of where I found the kind of my entry point into this guy. Was like, he's kind of, even in his older years, he's like quite gregarious, quite a romantic, and he was quite, by all accounts, he was quite like a hot-headed kind of guy, you know, as well. So it was
like an older
Adam
Curtis,
Curtis,
perhaps.
It was good casting. But you know, so that was the first season of the show. But then they wanted to put me in the second season of the show, so they kind of changed my name before the first season came out from Ed Crump to Ed Young. You'd think Ed Crump was the fictional name. His actual real name was Ed Crump, which is interesting. Anyway, and they changed it, and so like that gives you a bit more leeway than to just like play around. You don't have to be kind of beholden or feel obliged to be as truthful. Like if you're playing like Frida Kahlo, or you're playing, you know, like Salma Hayek did or whatever. Like I'm sure there's a lot more scrutiny on you to get it accurate. I know Austin Butler and Elvis, Billy Moran. He gave one of the biggest compliments you can give to an actor yesterday in the car on the way here. He said that he forgot he was watching an actor. He thought he was watching Elvis sporadically through the movie, and that's a serious compliment to get. I think that's exactly what the goal is. If you're playing someone real, like the other thing is, like, you know, you've got a lot more freedom. Like when that lady was asking me the question about Harry Wilde, I was really nervous about playing that character. I didn't want to ham him up too much, but I decided to do something that I found risky for me as an actor to do. But I'm kind of, when I was getting compliments from the director or whatever, he goes, no, keep going. That's the right vein. You kind of give yourself a bit of pat on the back because, like, you know, you take a risk and it works. So you kind of have a little bit more freedom in that vein when you're playing a fictional character. Well, yeah, great question. Thanks, Ken.
I do have a follow-up question.
Yes, sir.
Who was it in the car that you quoted?
Billy Moran.
I'm not familiar with Billy Moran.
The patron saint of
So basically, there's a word in Ireland, there's a surname in Ireland called Keogh. It's not Keogh. There's an Irish footballer called Kevin Moran who played for Man United. Yes, he did. Very good. And he also played Gab for Dublin. Was it Dublin he played Gab for? Yeah. the Gaelic football that I was talking about a while ago. His name is Kevin Moore, not Kevin Moran.
Billy Moran.
Oh, but Billy is Billy Moran.
Billy Moran, got it.
I have to correct all these because at one point he was
You have
Billy
to
Moore.
correct all these people on their own names. No, Billy. Your last name is Moran.
You know the funny thing was, when I first met Alex Calvert, I called him Alex Calvert. And I kept doing it then. He was like, my name is Calvert. What the fuck? Anyway. Hi.
Good morning.
Guten Morgen.
Ja, guten Morgen. Wie geht's?
Ja, es geht mir gut. Und dich?
Ja, genau.
Mir geht's auch gut.
Auch gut? Sehr gut.
I'd like to know, we come from all over the world to see you here. How far did you travel for a concert or an event?
I went to Croatia for a music festival once. Tisna in Croatia. It was like, it was before I met my wife, we were about late 30s, and everyone else was like in their early 20s. We still got like sore thumbs, but it was good fun. There was about 8 of us, dudes, that went for a big festival. How about you?
What sore thumbs?
Sore thumbs?
Did you say we got sore thumbs?
No.
I,
Did I? Oh, we stuck out like sore thumbs, Jesus.
Stood out like sore. I thought you were like, we were 10 years older, so our thumbs were sore.
You don't have that expression?
No, yeah, stood out like a
Oh, you
sore
did?
thumb. I didn't hear the stood out part.
Okay. I think I said stuck out. So I probably bastardized it, did I? Stood out. Like sore thumbs. Stuck out is better. See, it's an education here. I'm winning so far. Hello.
I have a question about Mick Davies' accent. I apologize this to Nance multiple times.
No, as long as you aren't going to be critical.
No, not at all. So all the other men and mothers were super posh, and Mick kind of gave them a bit more of a sort of Cockney vibe. And obviously later on there was a backstory where Mick came from a less privileged background and things. So I was wondering, did the accent come from knowing that backstory, or did the backstory go from the accent?
Vice versa, yeah, the latter actually. Because, so what had happened was when they were writing the roles, they had originally had me as the posh guy and had David as the Cockney guy who was the muscle. And they just found it was like, typical Supernatural. Like, you're in your 12th season, these writers are just brilliant. They've been going at it for 12 years. And they said, let's flip it on its head. Let's make David Hayden Jones, Nick Ketch, the posh guy with the posh accent, but have him be the ruffian. And then make me the intellectual with the Cockney accent. And it obviously worked. Well, it worked better for him because he did 20 episodes, the fucker. But it was, but it's still no. I think the dynamic really worked, and I just thought it made Mick, and made my journey. And I've said this many times. Although it's always lovely to do more episodes of a TV show for many reasons, but especially Supernatural because it's such an enjoyable show to work on. But having said that, I do think that Mick had just a superb arc. He started off and he had really changed hearts and minds by the end of it. People were actually devastated that he died, which made me happy. I think, it was just a well-rounded character, and it was very fun to play.
So that accent, they then came and decided, let's give that backstory.
I think so. When I first, it's hard as an actor on a TV show because you only get your script you don't really know what's going to happen at the end of the season. Like Jared Jensen and Misha probably had an idea where the arc of the season was going to be. But as like guest stars in a TV show, you don't really go to go, I have a couple of suggestions for my character, and then you suddenly are dead. So like you just. You take what you're given and then you build your story around that. So actors talk about backstories and about, how they created backstories. It's quite, it's always useful to have something to ground your character in, but you can't be too rigid with your backstory because if you are, you'll find you're you'll find that you never had parents or you were an orphan like I was or, all that kind of stuff. So you have to be kind of fluid enough and be able to be malleable and change, where you thought your character came from. But I have, and I've said this in the past, I definitely had a bit of an Artful Dodger vibe to Mick from the get-go. So when I read that script, Ladies Drink Free, was like, wow, this is perfect. It was a great. It was one of my favorite scenes I ever shot in Supernatural, because I got to say that thing at the end. And I said it to Jens, because it wasn't in the script. And I said, should I say that? Because like we'd all been drinking heavily the night before, the three characters, and I bounce in like happy-go-lucky, fully suited. And I was like, hey, good morning, Jens. I lost the boss actually. And the two boys are dying on the table with a hangover, and then I actually wanted to start drinking again. So it's quite true to life.
The characters.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Morning. Is it right if I ask Jason a question?
Please. No.
Right, well, Jason, so you've got the voice of an angel, okay?
Thank you. I love your question.
Yeah. And so there's this lovely tune that I was wondering if you knew, or might consider for playing tonight. It's Make You Feel My Love. Adele covered it. It's a Bob Dylan one. It's B flat and E flat. It's not too bad.
Do you want me to sing it in Adele's key?
Please.
Any key you like. I just thought if you happen to know it, could it go on the list at all?
I will look into it. I've played it before. It's a lovely song.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a really good song.
You do a lovely version.
Oh, thank you. If not tonight, you'll hear me sing it some other time for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's funny. It reminds me of a story. I used to work a lot in this theatre in Dublin called the Gate Theatre. I did a couple of plays there, good few plays there, and the artistic director, a guy called Michael Colgan, called me up one day and he goes, I want you to play Sweeney Todd. And I said, Michael, there's just one problem. I can't fucking sing. And I definitely can't sing like in a musical.
I think you can.
Well, so he goes, no, that's exactly what he said. He goes, I think you can. And what he used to do when he was auditioning people, he would sit at the back of the theatre with the producers and the director of the show, and he would have you audition to see. In theatre, it's known as hitting the back wall. If you can hear them in the back without a microphone. And so I go on stage and I almost bursted my mum's eardrums at home trying to practice this song from Sweeney Todd. And I walk on stage and Conor Linehan, the very famous Irish pianist, is on stage with his grand piano. And he's like,
Pianist.
what did I say? Did I say penis?
Penis. You said penis.
A famous one, apparently.
He is. It just hangs a little to the left. And Conor's penis said to me, he said, Adam, what key are you going to sing it in? And I said, to be honest with you, Conor, I'm probably going to cover them all. So just try and keep up.
Did you get the part?
Yeah, no, I did not. No. I did not. With this really famous musical theatre guy called David Shannon. I wasn't too pissed off about it because I'm sure the reviews would be brutal. Anyway, I'm going to leave on that note. Please join Jason and say nice things about me when I go.
Thank you. Everybody. Adam Fergus, everybody. Hi guys. What's happening? If anyone has a question, you're more than welcome to approach the mic. I think I'm just going to plug this guitar in for future reference. Just I don't know if anything will happen with it or not, but it's here and I'm here. Oh, yeah, okay. Perfetto. Grazie. Hi. I was wondering how you were throwing your voice like that. I was like, that's fantastic.
No. Do you have any nice thing to say about the deaths? Sorry, I'm not ready because I came.
That's okay.
About the group on your phone with Jensen and all the other fathers. Dead Fridays, something like that. This is the honest, I am shocked that it has lasted
a decade. I mean, it's a. So, I think Jensen mentioned it at some point in a stage talk, but a bunch of us had kids right around the same time, and so we have this text chain where every Friday we just check in with a picture of our kids, and usually, well, I'd say about 50% of the time, it's like a picture of our kids that our wife would approve of. And then 50% of the time, it's like a tornado has hit some part of the house and someone is covered in something, holding something they shouldn't be holding, hair perhaps quite disheveled, going, I am in charge today. No, but it's fun. It's a really fun way to check in with your buddies. Yeah, in a way that kind of gives you a little moment during the week to see something fun. Thank you. Hi. I will start by saying I'm a little sad that you're not as good of a train quote that word as I thought you were.
I'm so sorry.
Train film.
I'll practice.
All right.
Is there a song that you love so much that you will never sing it?
Is there a song? Say that again.
Is there a song that you love so much that you will never sing it because, like, you know that you'll never do justice to the original?
You know, no. Because every time I say that, I end up singing it. People were asking me to sing Hallelujah for years, and I was always like, it's done. Like it's finished. Buckley finished it. And then, I don't know, I had to learn it for something, and then I was like, well, I already know it, so might as well play it once. A show for the rest of my life. Yeah, so I never say never, is what I have learned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, so you plugged your guitar in. Can you play Ophelia, please?
Nope.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for the question. Any other questions? I will play that for you at some point in the future. Hey, there you are. Hi. How are you guys? Are you guys coming to our show tonight? So I shouldn't play then, because you'll be here anyway. You'll hear it twice. Are you sure? When the night is come, land is dark, and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Ooh, stand now. Stand by me. In the sky we look upon, tumble and fall. All the mountains should crumble to the sea. I won't cry, I won't cry. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand Thank you. Hello, Ms. Martin.
Hello, Mr. Mance.
Do you have a question?
I don't. I just have a request for sometime later, because I know you said you need Billy, but for what it's worth.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. This is me making a mental note. Give me a minute. Hi.
Hi. Can I have a controversial song request?
You may have a request.
It's a song that a friend of mine and I both really like, but you haven't played it in a long time. Rooftop Rendezvous.
I'm sorry, what?
Rooftop Rendezvous.
Not ringing any bells. No.
Workshop.
Yeah. No, I should learn that song that I wrote. So, my first album I wrote, and I know all of them. And then my second album, I had, maybe 10, 12 songs finished. And then when I recorded them, I didn't love a few of them. So I took them off the album and I wrote a couple things sort of on the spot. And I wrote a couple things with a couple buddies. Really just to record them, just to fill out the album and have something there. But they weren't songs that sprang from me. And so for some reason I don't play them ever. And so I don't remember them. Is that terrible? It's terrible.
It's okay.
All right, I'll learn them. Maybe.
No, you won't.
Relearn? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the request. I am 0 for 3. Does anybody else have any requests?
Yes.
Nope. No. Any more?
Soul.
What's that? Queen? No, I'm just kidding. This is the one you meant, right? Well, I hope you find something to love, something to do when you feel like giving up. A song to sing or tale to tell, something to love, it'll serve you well. Well, I was born in a tiny southern town, and I grew up with all my family around. We made music at the Heist on Friday nights. Old men with old guitars, smoking Winston lights. Old women harmonizing with the wind, and singing softly to the Savior like a friend. They taught me how to make the chords and sing the words, and I'm still singing like that great speckled bird. I hope you find something to love, something to do when you feel like giving up. A song to sing or a tale to tell, something to love, it'll serve you well. Tonight we're lying on a blanket in the yard. The wind is cold, the sky is dark, and the ground is hard. But your mama loves to count the stars at night. So if I get a little chill, that's alright. I hope you find
something to love, something to do when you feel like giving up. A song to sing, a tale to tell, something to love, it'll serve you well. You were born on a hot late summer day, we turned you loose and tried to stay out of your way. I don't quite recognize this world that you call home. Find what makes you happy, girl, and do it till you're gone. I hope you find something to love, something to do when you feel like giving up. A song to sing, a tale to tell, something to love, it'll serve you well. Something to love, it'll serve you well. Something to love, it'll serve you well. Thank you. Take a good look, lift your head up, baby. Bang your drum so everyone can hear. Come on and ride with me. I watch you change from blue to green. Do you see yourself back in the mirror? Baby got soul. You don't have to let this world take control. Lay your head down. Baby, I know you don't have to go through life on your own. No, I know you got soul. Well, I know this world has surely made you weary. You don't leave until the party ends. Come on and be with me, leave the scene. I wanna see you and me, find out just what's back behind the bed. Baby got soul. You don't have to let this world take control. Lay your head down. Baby, I know you don't have to go through life all on your own. You know I know you got soul. The worry of this weary world has fallen on your head. I know you need to go, but wound up here instead. The worry of this weary world has fallen on your head. I know you need to go, but wound up here instead. Baby got soul. You don't have to go through life all on your own. Lay your head down. And baby, I know you don't have to go through life on your own. You know I know you got soul. I know you got soul. You don't have to go through life on your own. Lay your head down. And baby, I know you don't have to go through life on your own. You know I know you got soul. Thank you. I'm just gonna keep playing music until someone tells me that it's time for whatever else it's time for. Are you guys having fun? It's I like the whole back in time thing we did here. It's kind of fun. Jib11. Don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Here I am, honey. Come on, cry me. You guys been practicing. In your lonely room, and there's nothing but the smell of your perfume. Don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Here I am, honey. Come on, cry to me. Waste of time. Oh yeah, you don't never have to walk alone. Oh, you see, so come on and take my hand, walk with me when you're waiting for a voice to come. Feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Here I am, honey. Come on, cry to me. Don't you feel like cry, 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 cry to me. Just give me a second. Who are you? And what have you done with my rhythm challenge jib crowd? You guys, what happened? You kept me on time. Was there like a clapping hand behind me on the screen? I'm so confused. That was some of the best rhythmic clapping I've ever had. Anyway. And to be honest, I'm a little disappointed in you. Just saying.
You're welcome.
I've been looking forward to laughing at your clapping for a long time now. I'm both disappointed and proud. Sitting in the morning sun, I will see you when the evening comes, watching the ships roll in, then I watch them roll away again. So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, wasting time. Left my home in Georgia, headed down to Frisco Bay. Yeah, nothing to live for, look like nothing's gonna come my way. So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay. see, still remains the same. I can't do what 10 people tell me to do, so I guess I'll remain the same. Yeah, sitting here resting my bones. Loneliness won't leave me alone. Yeah, 2,000 miles I rode just to make this dock my home. So I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away. Ooh, I'm just gonna sit on the dock of the bay, wasting time.
So, that's going to be it for me for now, but hopefully I'll see you guys later on this evening. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys missed you guys. We'll see you soon.